Okay.
Okay, this particular flute's made out of maple. And what you have here, this is called a slow air chamber, where you blow in this side here, travels about 3 or 4 inches, comes through here. This is beveled so that the air travels up. There's a wall here that stops the flow of the air. The air comes up, strikes this wall. We have here a 2/32 inch piece of brass that's beveled on the leading edge.
Okay.
What happens is this air comes in, strikes this wall, comes up. We have the little item here called a bird and a chimney. When we place this over here and line it up with the back of the slow air chamber, the air will come through the slow air chamber, come up, strike the bottom of the bird, and there's a little tunnel there now that's 2/32 of an inch. It travels through that tunnel over this sharpened edge, which is called your leading edge. That splits your air partially through the flute and out the top. The angle of the leading edge is a 32-degree angle, causing the air to split. Now, to secure that, I use a piece of deer lacing. You can use anything, but it has to be relatively flexible. We pull this down tight enough that we have no air leaks through the underneath the bird, but not so tight that we crack the wood, because the wood's
pretty soft.
Is not only soft, it's thin. Okay, this particular flute is in G. We're going to line this up. We need to move this bird back or forward depending on the weather.
That's called the bird?
Yeah, this is the bird. The brass place is the nest. If I have this done correctly, when I blow on this, we should get a fundamental note of G. And we have a 1.2 octave scale, and we can come up this again. This is done at a pentonic scale. This particular Native American flute, this style, the old style, are done pentonic scale, which is kind of a blues scale. Okay, it works. So.
Wow. Now, if you wanted to make it in a different scale, what would you do? How would it be longer?
I can do a chromatic scale, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And what that amounts to is just a different positioning of the holes and the size of the holes, where you would work up in a chromatic scale. It's just a basic fundamental music scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol.
And if you wanted in a different key, what does that do? Or how do you do that?
You'll change the length of your bore, which this is our bore here. It'll change the length of the bore and the size and the placement of your holes.
Okay.
Now, basically what that amounts to is either a lot of trial and error, or you cheat. You write down a chart, and when you say, I want to make it in A, you go, okay, I need to go this far between the holes,
right,
and about what size. Initially, when Native Americans initially made these flutes, there was no such thing as tuning and scales like we have now, Western-style tuning. So what was done then, and they actually got pretty close, and the basic Native American flute is done in the key of F sharp. And the reason for that is that the initial flutes were made out of red cedar, and that's a soft wood, made it easy to work. And how they determined placement of their holes is they would lay 4 fingers in front of this leading sound hole, and that would be the start of their first hole. And then, depending on how big your thumb was, you would lay a thumb between there and make your next holes. And they got pretty close to an F sharp by doing what we would call an F sharp today.
Huh. And what about your PVC ones here? What do you do different for them?
Nothing's different. The same thing, the same principle. We're just using plastic and putting a plug in there. But you still use the same measurements.
Same measurements and distance and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Where'd you learn to make flutes?
Trial and error. read a few books.
Cool.